So since title update 20 came out, I've been playing with a ton of builds. And as a more of a solo player, when I do play PvE, I do feel that there are certain builds that just stand out a little bit more than others. And one of the builds that is still probably one of the strongest in the game, whether you're doing solo heroic control points, solo heroic missions with 5 directives on, is going to be this build right here, just because of the amount of damage you do and being able to one-shot so many enemies. This build just pretty much will make the game feel easy, and sometimes it makes it feel like maybe a cheat code, but it's so fun to use, and it's been one of my favorite builds to use over the last couple months. It's allowed me to get through content so much easier, especially if I just want to farm shade levels, if I want to farm those public executions, or if I even want to farm these heroic control points. And the thing is, the fastest way to get XP is have more directives on, right? Do harder content. So if you're on heroic, 5 directives, getting the max amount of XP. And with this build, it just allows you to do that. And I've been playing with this build, tweaking this build, and I think when this build is fully optimized, which it currently isn't, because you guys are gonna see in a little bit, this build isn't fully optimized, but when it is, it's going to be absolutely amazing, because I'll be able to have even more armor than the armor I have now. And if you notice, I'm getting a ton of bonus armor. So the more armor I have, that's more bonus armor. So obviously, I can't wait to fully get this Model 700 225 expertise that's only sitting at 12, and then allow me to add maybe another blue core, and I'll explain all that in a second when I do the build breakdown. But as you're seeing, there hasn't been one enemy I haven't been able to one-shot. Once I proc the talents, once I get the talents going, everything else is just so easy. Whether it's red, it's purple, it's an enemy with a little bit of armor. Now, obviously, you guys do know there are a few enemies that you will never be able to one-shot. Those are going to be some of the hyenas with the helmets, where the first shot's going to make you break the helmet, the second shot to the head should finish them off, and then obviously the heavy gunners that shoot. Those are ones that will require you to break the helmet too. Same thing. So there are a few enemies that you would never be able to one-shot, but for the most part, you should have fun with this build. For you new returning players, I think this is a great build that you can start off with all reds. As you start to level it up, then you can add a blue, add another blue, and then obviously you get to where I'm at. Hopefully, I'll be able to add another blue and just have more armor. But look at this. Just so easy, and we just clear this out so quick. But I know you guys want to know what the build is. Let's get into it. So let's break down the build so you can see how I have this one set up. So this build is built around the Model 700. We got a huge buff in title update 20. Now, if you notice on this build, we are running 4 reds and 2 blues. And we can actually, if we got this Model 700 to 25 expertise, which currently it's 12, so we're getting 12% extra weapon damage, we could go 3 reds, 3 blues, and still do just enough damage to one-shot all of those enemies. So we have marksman rifle damage, headshot damage, and damage targets out of cover. And then we have the talent determine. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next shot landing on any enemy will be a guaranteed headshot. Now we have 35% headshot damage on the scope, 5% weapon damage on the magazine slot, and then 10% accuracy. Now for your secondary, you can run whatever you want. I always think the Scorpio is a great one, because this one, you can literally just, if you get rogue agents, you can swap to this, and this will control them, puts out a lot of damage. So that's one of those, if you get a really good close rusher and it's a tankier one and you just don't want to use your sniper, pull out the Scorpio and take care of them. So we are running the hot shot, which I think is absolutely amazing. And what's cool about it is the way we are set up on this build. We have armor on kill, we have a talent that's going to give us armor, bonus armor, and then obviously the 4-piece on the hot shot complements all that, right? So we get 30% marksman rifle damage, 30% weapon handling, 30% headshot damage, and then you can see 4 pieces headache. First headshot with the marksman rifle will increase your next headshot by 20%. The second headshot with the marksman rifle will give you 10% armor. Now, if you have full armor, which we are a lot, it gives a bonus armor max of 50% of the current armor value. Third consecutive headshot will refill the magazine. So that's why you can see we always had a chunk of bonus armor. Plus, we also had more bonus armor on top of that because of the backpack time. So from the 4th headshot forward, agents will get all 3 bonuses for each consecutive headshot. Missing headshots will reset the cycle. So we have weapon damage on this one, and then we're gonna stack headshot damage on everything. So we headshot attribute, headshot damage mod. You'll see that with all the hotshot pieces. For the chest piece, we're going with the chain killer chest pieces, the Walker and Harris chest piece. This is the only chest piece that gets perfect headhunter. It has 5% weapon damage because of Walker and Harris. We have weapon damage, headshot damage, critical chance. You could put weapon handling. I like critting every now and then, so that crit chance is good there. And then a headshot damage mod here. So what does perfect headhunter do? After killing enemy with the headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 150% of that killing blow's damage. Damage is capped to 800%, but since we're gonna be above 150% headshot damage, that cap is raised to 1,250%. Our second piece of hotshot is going to be the holster, and we're gonna have weapon damage and then headshot damage. Our third piece of hotshot is gonna be the knee pads, and we're gonna have armor on here and headshot damage. Remember I told you if we get the expertise up on that model 700 to 25, we'll be able to do 3 blues and 3 reds. Currently we have 4 reds and 2 blues. And then our final piece of hotshot, we have armor and headshot damage. For the backpack, we're running the Raleigh backpack that gives us that 10% marksman rifle damage. But look, we have weapon damage, crit damage, headshot damage, and a headshot damage mod. And then I rolled the talent on here, Bloodsucker. Killing an enemy adds and refreshes a stack of 10% bonus armor for 10 seconds. The max stack is 10. So that's how we're having a ton of armor. We're at 1.1 million armor. We can get a stack here. We also have the hotshot. And then what's even crazier is because we are running the gunner class, we're getting 10% armor on kill. So it's such a cool way to complement the build. And I believe once I end, I'm gonna level up that model 700 to 25. And once I do, I'm gonna be able to put 3 blues, 3 reds, and still put out a crazy amount of damage, which is going to be so much fun to do, especially on something like this where you have Bloodsucker, you have the hotshot, you have the gunner class, all combining to make a build that has insane amount of damage and have great survivability. So we are running the gunner class like I told you. That's for the 10% armor on kill. Also, this regens our armor, so we're able to run 5 directives on this build. I recommend you just using the Reviver Hive, and if you're running 5 directives currently, Cool Skills is one of them. So you kind of just want to, Scavenge Skills is one of them. So I just have the Reviver Hive. If I go down, it's gonna drop. I don't use my skills with this build. If you look at the stats, you'll see 16% crit chance, 57 crit damage, 286% headshot damage, and then 1.3 million weapon damage on the build. We go over, you'll see 110% armor on kill, and then look, 1.1 million armor. And like I said, with Bloodsucker, with the hotshot, with the gunner class where I'm getting that armor on kill, if I do take some damage, just stacked. Bonus armor is going to be there. Your survivability is going to be there. It's just such a cool build to use, especially if you're new and you want to beat harder content easier. This is the way. So my goal is to really get this to 25, and then I'll probably get another piece blue, and then we'll have 3 blues, 3 reds. But yeah, currently this is how I run it. But I think when it's fully optimized, that will be the play. 25 expertise on the Model 700, right? So we'll gain an additional 13%. That'll allow me to take off 15% here. So I'll only be 2% difference, right? But I'll be able to do the same amount of damage, have more survivability, and make this build even that much better. So if you guys been looking for a build to really min-max, maybe this could be something for you. It's a ton of fun, and I think you guys will enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Nothing but skills out.